Hi there.
Hello.
Bob Peters, Central Florida Salute YouTube. You got a beautiful post here.
Oh, thank you. My name is Bruce Hargis. I'm the commander here. So why don't you come on in and welcome and
all right, well, give us a little tour. A
little tour?
Yeah, we're going to want a tour of the place. How long has this post been here? I know it burned down one time, right?
This post burnt down a few years ago. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago, it burnt down. We had an older building sitting up front. This building here we're celebrating our 5th anniversary this October. Oh, so we're still a pretty new building. And what I'd like to do to give you a tour of the place is I'd like to introduce you to Mike Oster.
But first I want to know about Bruce. Bruce,
okay.
You were in what branch of the service?
I was in the Army in 1992 and for avionics. So I fixed helicopters, fixing everything that didn't go round and round and make noise. So I was kind of a computer geek on the helicopters. So
now you're the commander here. That means you get to do all the work and no money.
That's about it. I you know, all the responsibility, and they doubled my pay from whenever I was first commander.
Yeah. Oh, the second time around?
No, first vice.
Oh, you went through the chairs?
I went through the chairs, and so now I'm.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm from my Legion post is up in Connecticut.
Okay.
Post 174 in Oxford.
All right.
And we did the same thing. We had to go through the chairs.
Right.
You know, I guess some places don't do that anymore, or I don't know.
No, not really. I actually started as trustee, then went to second vice, then first vice, and now I'm...
So you like punishment?
I enjoy punishment, something fierce.
So why don't you introduce me to Mike?
All right, I'll introduce you to Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Bob, this is Mike Oster. He's one of our trustees.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Meet you.
Another one who likes to work for free.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
That's it.
Mike, we're going to interview you inside a little later.
Yes,
but
sir.
I would like a little tour so everybody can see, because this is a nice post, and I guess you'll be looking for members too, would you not?
Absolutely.
So
each and every day.
We're in Clermont, post 55.
Post 55.
You got a website and all that?
We have a website. It's American Legion post55.org is our website. And at any time you can email any of us at post55info@gmail.com.
Okay, and your hours of operation?
Our hours of operation are typically noon to 10 every day. And except for there's few holidays, of course. Yeah. But typically we are open noon to 10.
Okay, tell me a little about what you guys do as far as charities go and stuff.
Charities. Well, we have our 4 pillars, and we try to stick with those as much as possible. We do a lot for children and events. We do a lot of help with the retired veterans. Every Veterans Day we go to the Clermont Rehab and fix a big dinner for them to say thank you. We have a big celebration here. We raise money for veterans in need. We have a veteran relief fund, or if a veteran falls on hard times, they come to us and say, hey, we need a little help with the rent this year or this month, or we need help with a car payment, and we say, here you go.
And I know you got a service officer. I met him.
Yes.
And I guess he does a good job from what I hear.
He does a very good job. In fact, we're blessed to have 2 service officers. Dwayne Thrift and Rob Oyer are our 2 service officers. If you contact that website, that email, we'll get right in touch with.
And you have Boy State, Girl State, you do that
We
too?
have Boy State and Girl State. The Legion does Boy State every year. The auxiliary does Girl State. Our riders do a big vet relief fund. We are also helping out this November. There's a big softball game versus the Clermont Police Department and the Lake County Sheriff's Department. They do a charity softball game. We're a big sponsor in that this year.
Oh, good.
So and that just helps officers that are in need. Last year there's an officer who developed cancer that, all the funds went to his family for help with him to get through the cancer.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. You do a lot. I mean, I told you before, I'm a 39-year American Legion guy. past commander, and so I know a little bit about what goes on with the American Legion. Well, actually, I know a lot, but you're here to inform people who don't know, right?
That's right.
So, and this is a beautiful little post, and I'm going to, you said you weren't going to talk on camera, but I got you, didn't I?
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, but I'm going to let you go because Mike is going to give me the tour now.
Yeah, Mike's better looking than me, so.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Come on over here, Mike.
All right.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
tell me your last name, and we're going to talk about your you being in the service later.
Okay.
But I want you to walk me around. Right now, we're in the canteen, which is
This is a social club. So obviously, when they come in, those that want to go to the social club, we have our games here as well. We've got the music machine, numerous televisions, and we try to keep those focused on to fit everybody, make them happy, but that's impossible, you know how that is. So you have
I work on making one person happy.
Not yourself?
Yeah.
So we have sports set up as well, and we have other television shows throughout the day, and they try to get everybody happy about it. So, and then inside here is where the business is taken care of.
Yeah, well, I want to go check out that wall over here.
Okay.
That flag made out of wood is fantastic. I
It
don't know
is.
where
It is.
It was donated, from what I understand. Is that correct?
That's correct. It was one of the members that donated it to us, and we tried to find a mediocre place to put it up so it would be visible. This is what they came up with as far as the placement of it, but it's torn. It stands for our history as far as the way I look at it, the way we went through history, and it's tattered, but it still stands up.
Yeah, that sends a good message. You're right,
Yeah.
Mike. You're right. It sends a good message. Come on over here.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about what are we looking at over here.
Well, this is a representation of one of the members, Paul Fogel. He's one of the riders. He was a president of the riders as well, and he passed away recently with COVID, during the COVID time
Sorry
frame.
to hear that.
And so he done so much for this post and the post before that, and with the riders group. Also, he was very handy as far as the television. He was an incremental part of the televisions. Okay,
Oh,
as far as
getting the television.
Yep,
and everything,
as far
yeah.
as getting them hooked up and our internet service and television, and it wasn't. I sat with him right over there on those two end tables on the other side, and we were talking about it. And the next thing I know, I come in and find out he's ill.
Yeah.
Just like that.
It's that's why I believe in. Veterans should belong to a post, whether it be Legion,
Absolutely.
AMVETS, or VFW. The camaraderie here.
Yep.
Once you're a veteran, you're a different person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain it, but
Right.
it's a brotherhood and a
Yep.
sisterhood.
Yep, it's kind of sorority, fraternity type relationships in it.
Yeah.
You remember stuff. You try to stay in touch with each other lifetime, because you never know when you can call back and lean on that person.
Yeah. Okay, so we pretty much looked around here, but
Yeah.
I noticed, if you look over there, we have the table. Every post has one of those. I should say.
Yeah, they should have the POWMIA table. It's supposed to be placed as soon as you come in the door or thereabouts close by as well. Pay homage to the POWMIA. Each item on that table has a special representation for the POWMIA. Please don't ask me to repeat each and every one of them, because I used to have them all. But
I did a show with the kids from Leesburg High School, the ROTC, and they
Yes.
explained it. So we're going to let you off the hook.
Thank you so much.
But we're going to go in the other room. You're going
Okay.
to show me the other room.
Okay.
I'll
let's go
follow
there.
you.
All right. This is the American Legion Hall. This is where the business takes place. We also use this for cards. So they have Texas Hold'em and other games, and euchre scheduled as well. So this is all set up for each and every night's try. They probably have 5 nights of the week are busy. As far
Do
as
you do
having-
dinners too?
We do.
You have a
Yep.
kitchen here? Do you do lunches?
We do. No, we don't really get into the lunch thing.
'Cause I was trying to get my camera person to buy,
There you go.
but I guess not.
It didn't work this time.
I'll starve. Mike.
So we do Friday night, have a guy come in. We have what other night do we have? Is he comes in and cooks. I think it's Friday night, and and Sundays, and for football, whenever the football season comes back around again, he'll be here for that. And then we have special dinners as well, like Commander was telling you. We had a setup, so we have donations. We have Mother's Day, Father's Day meals as well. We support that. for the people that are members of the post. So,
And of course,
yep.
Veterans Day and Memorial Day.
And Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Well, tell me about this wall here. This is the gentleman you were telling us about,
Yeah,
right?
this is Paul right here. Yep.
We could zoom in on that. There's Sue. That's one of his hats that's out there.
Yeah, that's the one he's wearing.
Yeah.
And the wall representation of those past members of the post that have passed away.
That's very nice. That's very, very, very nice.
And
you got information here.
yep,
People
all
want
the
to-
information in regards to the post. Not only the post, but talked about, these are like kids' books we take to the schools as well for about the flag and the history of the flag, representation of the colors of the flag. And then we've also got other information as well we put out about the funeral.
The planning, yeah.
Yeah,
funerals.
planning.
Yeah.
And what you're qualified for, let you know, be aware. And then the Legionnaire magazines are in the corner as well.
Yeah, and service dogs, huh?
Yep.
Do a lot with service dogs. Okay, so I really like this. Tell me about this wall here with that underneath there for the soldier.
Well, there was a lot of time put in by a handful of folks here at the post, and it came out of the auxiliary, the riders, legions, and the sons to find this information in regards to the individuals and the tags all the way around the perimeter of it are still MIA soldiers of Florida. And then they came up with that, and then they had a few photographs that they'd gotten from other people, and I don't know, other than, like you said, the corner picture up there, any of these folks here that are currently around here that come
you were
in
telling me
daily.
about the guy up there with the glasses.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That slipped my mind who exactly that was. Okay. And Bill was supposed to be in.
Oh, okay.
Got you.
Oh,
Okay.
was he going to be here for a show? No, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I like that. That's nice, and I really like this. You got a really nice post
It's
here.
a tribute. And then this corner goes to the people. You can come in if you've got any photographs of yourself, current members around. This is General Gardner. There's Dwayne. He just received his award for the Veterans Hall of Fame. That's the gentleman that you met. He was honored with that. Just a picture of his own coin.
I'm hoping that, yeah, he gave me one of those.
Did he?
I'm hoping to have an interview with him. I guess today he had to go to the VA.
Yeah, he's got mouth surgery or something.
Yeah,
But
he
General,
will be on. He told me he will come on.
he'll be on.
And I'd like to get the general too, but I guess he's busy, huh?
Yeah, he's quite busy. We can't get him in here very often at all, really. But soon, someday, he'll come back in. But it is hard to schedule him. And,
Okay, and we've got hats here. People want to get hats.
Yep.
And people's medals here, Purple Hearts.
These are donations that folks have given us to family members that didn't want them laying around at their house and felt like
here's
it was
Dwayne's
Yep.
Hall of Fame. Who was a little soldier?
I don't know where the little guy came from.
A tiny guy,
Yep.
you know.
He's probably a tunnel rat.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not going to touch that. But yeah, it's a beautiful display here.
well, thank you.
And I have this. I have one of these in my house.
I saw that
Flag
in the
of honors.
background of the
And we
one.
got one at my set at Eagles.
Yep.
Where
Okay.
we do a lot of our shows. But we're going to take a little break. We're going to get comfortable, and then we're going to talk about you. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for the tour. It's a lovely post you guys have here, and
Thank
I know you do a lot. We're happy to be here. But now it's time for us to find out about you. So, Mike, Oster, is that you say your name?
Yeah, Oster.
Tell me about yourself. You were United States Army, right?
United States Army. Born and raised in southern Indiana. Town of about 125 people. And went to school, high school. And I didn't go into the Army till age of 24. So,
Wow.
So
Why so late?
I'll be honest with you. I was working at a Caterpillar dealership in Louisville, Kentucky, and I got to thinking about my grandpa, and he was in World War II, and my uncle was in Vietnam. My dad served in the National Guard, and I thought, if I'm going to do something, I should do it now. And I made up my mind, and I wanted to go into the aviation side of the Army, and then get into the reserve system as well. So I served 10 years, 10 months, and 2 days.
13 years?
10 years, 10 months, and 2 days.
Oh, wow. So tell me, you went to basic. Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Knox, Kentucky in the winter. Great
Did you get
place.
all the money?
That was a great place to hang out in the winter.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Bivouac.
Yeah, I got stationed in New Hampshire. Every time the winter was there, I was there. But come the summertime, they sent me overseas. So all I ever did was shovel snow off of planes, you know. But anyway, Fort Knox. That's where you went to basic. Mm-hmm. And where'd you go after that?
I left there on a bus.
What did you do? What was your function? You know, after basic, you went to school for what?
I went to flight operations coordinator, base tower operations. So air traffic control, ATC is the top, and then flight operations coordinators were down at the bottom of the tower. Took in the flight plans, proofread them, gave all the pilots their information, their notice to airmen's. Once that was completed, then we sent it in a tube upstairs.
Well, that had to be pretty intense.
And then after that was done, I had enough of that. And then I took other training to become an aircraft technician because I was already a technician on equipment. So I fell right into the job slot. So I worked on helicopters for a while. And then a flight slot came available and they awarded it to me. And then I was a crew chief on board a Huey. In a medevac, or some call it dust-off operation.
Yeah. I know about those.
Yep, that's what I did for probably 4 years until the unit got basically dismantled. And then we went and got into the 8th of the 229th Helicopter Attack Unit. So I went from one extreme to the other. So we had Cobras and OH-58s, and then we had 3 Hueys in headquarters. So I took up one of the slots for headquarters company as a crew chief. So I flew the old man's bird with him.
You got deployed, I see, to Panama?
Yeah, I went to Panama in '86, and I was still in flight operations at the time I did that. We went over there on a mission. We were the medevac support for the locals that were engineers putting in a road from cross country alongside the railroad. So the road went from one side of the Caribbean Sea all the way back over to Fort Sherman, which was an old World War II fort to begin with.
Yeah. Well, that had to be pretty interesting. You know, did you go other places? Any other deployments?
No, Panama was pretty much it. Even the only other thing that we got involved with too, after I went into the reserve side of the business, was we fought fires. So we had the 3 Hueys, and we would get dispatched by the state, and then we would go down and fly and pull bucket brigades, dipping water with the Hueys and putting out fires down at Daniel Boone National Forest and other areas in Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I've been to Daniel Boone National Forest. They got some kind of a waterfall there. That's something about that waterfall. I don't know whether it goes
Cumberland,
back.
Cumberland Falls. They've got a waterfall.
Yeah, that's probably what I looked at.
Yeah,
it's pretty out there.
It sure is.
You know. But so you did 10 years, you say?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And when any memorable moment you want to talk about?
Probably the most that sticks in my mind when we were in Panama, we had a aircraft that was fully loaded with supplies for a village, which meant it had food and clothing that had been sent in from the United States from donations. So they loaded it into our aircraft, and they didn't have a crew chief, and I wasn't a crew chief at the time. But I didn't know about the aircraft because I'd already been in the unit. So they asked me, said, would you mind going with us, because we need somebody at least to watch the tail, make sure we're clear, because we might be going into a tighter LZ. So we got over to our destination, and we started our descent. And the descent, we were going to land on a soccer field. Well, a storm came on, and it was coming offshore, and we were trying to get in. Keep in mind that was a sling load, and it was hanging underneath of us with nets.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we came in, and we got as close as we could because the wind was hitting us from the side, and the pilot was running out left pedal, and we're trying to control the bird to keep it straight to get this shipment in. Finally, it got so bad that we we ended up getting a transmission chip detector light coming on. The transmission was starting to fail. We dropped the load and we made it back to the base. And when we landed, we had problems with the transmission severely. It was pretty much junk by the time we got back.
Yeah, well, luckily you made it all back, you know.
Yeah. Probably the most memorable. It stuck, you know, after all those years. Still remember it to this day.
Oh, well, I'm sure you remember it. You'll always remember it.
But it was a good trip, you know, had a good meaning behind it, you know, for what we did, the reasoning we were doing. And that kind of brings me to here. American Legion, what they do for people.
Now, you did 10 years, but you're from Indiana, you said, right?
Yeah.
So how did you wind up down here?
Florida. I worked for the local Caterpillar dealership in Kentucky. And they had an opening here in Florida for me because I'm an operator trainer. And I work in marketing with them. And we go around and set up shows and we do training for operators. We demonstrate the equipment to customers as well. So once the demonstration process is done, we deliver it. We go back out and make sure their operator is familiar with the controls and settings. So they had a need for another person in Florida. He was traveling from all the way over from Palm Harbor and coming back across the state and back and forth, and he said to run him to death. So we came down, they flew me, my wife, myself down, we did an interview, and the rest is history. We've been here for 18 and a half years.
And you've been a member of this post for how long?
Be going on 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I
And
joined.
you're a trustee here now, right?
I'm trustee now,
Yeah.
Sergeant at Arms for 2 years. And
Oh, so
then
you're involved.
So I was involved with that. And so I'm wanting to start to move myself around inside the post at all the different jobs that we have. So I just thought I'd kind of get into the trustee, and like you said earlier, the pay's not all that well.
Yeah. No, it's not a... But what I do, this pays not well either. I don't get a dime for what I do.
Exactly.
But I love doing what I'm doing, and I know you love doing what you're doing. One thing I like to tell young people, and I think you'll agree with me, is the younger veterans coming out should join, right?
Yes, I agree with that. Because I waited so long, I really didn't have anybody close by to guide me to this direction. And because I had developed hearing loss, and obviously been on an aircraft for 10 years or 8 years actually, and being on a flight line. So the tinnitus set in with the ringing continuously, and then also the loss of hearing. And you try to do that on your own, and it's very cumbersome, and you almost throw your hands up in the air and say, forget it. But if you come into the American Legion, you meet your service officer and touch base with him, bring your records, let him look at it, set up the appointment, go downtown, take him with you or her, whoever it is, and set up a meeting, and the rest, fall into place for you.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered it, Mike.
Yep.
And because we do have a couple other people we're going to interview here today.
Okay.
So I want to thank you
Thank you.
for coming on. And we're going to say goodbye. And we're going to look at that camera right there. You ready?
Yes, sir.
To all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.